Hello, and welcome to this episode of Felonious, a podcast where we discuss the realm of true crime. From chilling cold cases to the wild and wacky, we'll explore it all with a perfect blend of seriousness and humour. My name is Emma.
And I'm Nazia. To keep up to date with what's coming up, be sure to follow us on Instagram at felonious.pod and visit our website feloniouspod.com. We hope you enjoy this episode, so let's get to it.
Well, this is another Patreon episode.
Yeah, a special one.
Yeah, thanks for subscribing and thanks for purchasing this episode. We actually have a guest with us today.
Yeah, special guest.
Yeah, special guest. Who are you and what's your game?
My name is Kris. My game is mainly being Emma's boyfriend and also the person that watches some stuff with her when she is watching weird stories about murder. But I also have a background in television production and generally production-based things, so I understand how things are made, especially when it comes to television. At one point, I was head of photography for Big Brother in the UK, and that meant that me and Emma got to spend a day in the Big Brother house.
Nice.
Yeah, that was really weird. There was loads of like Ribena everywhere as well in there.
Did you go in the diary room?
Yes, we did. We made sure we sat in the diary room chair.
Who is she? Who is she? Sorry, that's the only scene I remember.
Well, I got in this weird position where I went up to the studio to go do some work, and they said to me, "Oh, Kris, I heard you need a pass to get into the house." And I said, yeah, no, I need two, definitely. I need two. Me and an assistant, I need some help. We need to go do some work in the house. And then in between the production run and the actual TV show run, they let us in the house for a day to kind of wander around and pretend to take pictures.
Nice. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was just really surreal to be in there without being a contestant.
Yeah. And you're kind of used to seeing it on TV.
Yeah.
With like Z-list celebrities and whatnot and other people that want to become Z-list celebrities.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, Kris.
Yeah. Welcome to this unscripted chaos.
Thank you. It's good to be here. I thrive in unscripted chaos.
Yeah, let's hope it's not as chaotic as the show that we are going to talk about.
Yes. So in today's episode, we're talking about Natalia Grace. It's a weird one.
Yes.
But if you haven't seen it, there are 3 documentary series.
If you can call it a documentary.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that.
We use that term lightly.
But basically, it's about a Ukrainian orphan who was adopted by an American family called the Sikonis when she was about 5 years old. She's also got a disability. Should probably point that out, right?
Yeah, she's a little person and she's got a specific disability. I'll try and find the name.
I have found the name.
Oh, you've got it?
It's going to be interesting to pronounce.
I know. We've heard it so many times, but it doesn't stick in my head.
Spondyloepiphyseal dysplasia congenita.
I think you've done a good job there.
That sounds right.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was adopted when she was 5 and she came to America. And in 2010, she was put up for adoption again and was adopted by Michael and Christine Barnett, who are a bunch of cray-crays.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yes. Allegedly. Yes, allegedly. We're going to use that word a lot.
If there's one thing I've learned working in TV and entertainment, it's say the word allegedly a lot.
Yeah.
Allegedly, before they adopted her, a couple with dwarfism called the DePauls wanted her, but they were unsuccessful. And I can't remember the reason why.
It's sort of... We can go into it later. I think they touch upon it in season 3, and it sounds... It sounds a bit fishy, but also vague at the same time. I think in the earlier seasons, they kind of just brushed over it and said that it was unsuccessful. And then in season 3, they kind of mention why. But yeah, we can talk about that
Okay.
later on.
So the first series of the documentary is mostly about, well, it's mostly told through Michael Barnett's sort of narrative,
Yeah.
his side of the story. And he's quite an unhinged character. And it seemed like he was enjoying telling his story a bit too much, in my opinion.
He likes the sound of his own voice.
Yes. And the second part is both Michael and Natalia fighting it out until she forgives him, while her new adoptive pastor father watches on.
Yes.
And then the third part shows us a recent update about Natalia's life and her fight with her new adoptive family, the Manses.
Yeah.
And then Natalia gets rescued by the DePauls, who were the couple that wanted to adopt her in 2010 before the Barnetts got in there.
Yeah, and that season has literally just come out.
Yeah. And during all of these documentaries, we see an old guy that likes to have interviews with his shirt off, showing his hernia.
I think I'd repress that memory.
Is it a hernia? I was under the assumption that it was just like a really botched belly button job.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, probably. I mean, people in America do all that kind of shit, allegedly.
Well, they have to pay for their healthcare, and it's not even great healthcare, so who knows?
Oh, and during the documentaries, we get analysis from the legal analyst, Beth Carras.
Yeah.
Who seems to really enjoy the drama that goes on. And she's really loud.
She sounds like someone who likes the sound of her own voice, and she just wants to make her blonde hair wiggle like Michael McIntyre. She's like a New Jersey Michael McIntyre. Like, you not see it?
Now I do, yeah.
I got very confused on her role in the series because I think she's a through line throughout all 3 series, if I remember rightly, is kind of, she becomes, in the 3rd series, she is just a narrator, but she kind of fulfills that role more and more. But she starts off being kind of a talking head about the legal side. Then I think she kind of pivots to being a journalist and talking about reporting on the case. And then in the 3rd series, she is just a narrator. There doesn't really seem to be any other purpose to what she's doing apart from just so they could fill time.
No, yeah, like she doesn't really she takes up so much airtime in season 3, but she doesn't actually bring a lot to the table apart from commentary and some problematic commentary as well.
I didn't find that she explained the legal terms very well.
No, and let me know if I'm jumping the gun here, but I feel like in season 3, they had some people involved, like the FBI agent, the detective, and the prosecuting attorney. Like those 3 people, for example, had more value, but they had such short amount of airtime on the series, and I feel like they would have brought more to the table, but they let Beth Carras do all the talking and nothing of value.
And it seemed like it was set out as like a reality TV show from the get-go.
Yeah.
Rather than a serious legal case, which it is if everything said is to be believed.
Yeah, like that's the thing, because like season 1, it's all about, shock and is she evil? Is she an adult? Blah, blah, blah. And looking back, you would think the producers would have, if they were ethical about it, they would have done some fact checking.
Is it season 1 they go to Ukraine, though? I can't remember. Was it season 1 they actually just go to Ukraine and fully answer the question just within like a few minutes?
Yeah, because they have a DNA test and check with the actual mother as well, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do a video call with the mum, and I think they go out and visit her. But so season 1, if I remember correctly, it's just all about whether Natalia is an adult, if she isn't, is she a psycho, is she not? And then, is that the one where it ends with Michael and Christine going to court?
Yeah, I think so. That sounds about right.
Oh God, I'm just remembering like that scene where Michael Barnett's like slamming the floor and crying, and he's got such a punchable face. Like if there was a definition for punchable face, it is Michael Barnett. All the blatant lies that he's telling, you would have thought the producers, if they were ethical about it, they would have done some fact checking and brought in someone to say, well, actually, blah, 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 blah. But they just kind of went with whatever he had to say to, I guess, engage the audience and like make it all sensational.
Yeah, it's shock value, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
From a storytelling perspective, I think the problem is there is a very definitive answer to whether or not she is a child or an adult. And that answer can be gained quite quickly and easily. But that doesn't make for a good series because, so if I remember rightly, and I'm kind of working off memory slightly because it's been a while, I think, since we watched the first series, but there's all of this doubt kind of the whole way through, and there's all of these questions. And I remember it being a vaguely well-presented case of kind of, you know, she could be an adult. And then at the end, you kind of get, well, the doctor that did the age change wasn't that sure. That's what they kind of mainly went off. They went and interviewed the mother, and the mother goes, no, her real age is the child age. And you kind of go, oh, okay, well, there was nothing here then.
Yeah, I guess like, I'm remembering they kind of built it up with Michael telling all these stories about how she stood at the bottom of the bed with a knife and the whole pubic hair thing and whatnot. So I guess they really needed to drag it out with his and Christine's plots to convince everyone else that she's an adult. And then, as you said, in the end, it's like, well, no, if you just look at the scientific proof, like that can be verified by the correct professionals, you can see she's a child.
But it comes to the point where they're so scared of her and really believe that she is an adult that they actually get an apartment for her. And she's just there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if
But do they really believe it?
Yeah, because you know, in season 3, it's like one thing Beth does explain is the potential reason as to why. Like, I agree, there's probably Christine probably had different ways that she was trying to get rid of Natalia. Why? We'll never know. Whether it's how Michael explains that, you know, she couldn't do the spark thing with Natalia, now she wanted to get rid of her. So I guess, you know, they tried to put her in a psych ward, they re-aged her, but then she was always going to be a dependent because she's got a disability. And then I guess the other attempt was literally putting her in a dangerous situation, in a dangerous neighborhood, and just hoping something happened. And I imagine, like, say something did happen to Natalia, say she was murdered or whatever, you would never know Natalia's side of the story, and they could have been like, oh, our poor adoptive daughter, and they would have milked that. I can imagine, that's my perspective. If Natalia had a fatal ending in that neighborhood, the Barnetts would have milked that so much. That's my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't have any problems with anything you've said. My only issue is with the legitimacy of the story that's being told in general, especially after season 3. I mean, most of my notes on it are from talking with Emma while watching the show. I am particularly a bad person to watch TV with because I will analyze how things are done very quickly.
Yeah.
And go, because I'll be, how would I produce that? Oh, no, I know. There's a lot of shots. I don't know if season 3 is a particularly egregious example or whether it's just because it's recent in my memory. But I mean, there are things like where it becomes very apparent, and this also could be a reason that the experts weren't interviewed for very long. They filmed everything in like a couple of days by the look of it.
Yeah.
Nearly every talking head from every major person, they're all wearing identical clothes. And this is a weird game I end up playing.
That's well spotted.
Well, it's a game. It's kind of a thing I do when I'm watching TV. Like if I'm watching reality TV, like say The Traitors, which has just been on. If you watch to see what clothes people are wearing in their confession cam videos, you can figure out when those confession cam videos are from. And sometimes their clothes change during the confession cam shots. And you're like, okay, well, that was edited. I mean, the DePaul family, in the third series, Vince and Nicole DePaul do not change clothes.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole thing. All of their talking heads are done from the same angle. It's kind of hilarious that Vince DePaul doesn't seem to be want to really be in the show at all at the start of it. He is not interested. There's this whole manufactured drama about him wanting to leave, which didn't really feel like it was a thing. That it just kind of went away.
That was just to pull at the strings of the viewers, though, isn't it? It's like, oh, look at what, and to play into that potential narrative, like, oh, look at Natalia, she's causing problems in people's home lives again. Because Beth Karras, she refers to it like, this I don't agree with. It's just like, oh, you know, she's going from one family and like it's another hellhole or whatever she says, and I just think, what a shitty thing to say.
But also, the scene that specifically set me off on the whole thing, kind of made me look at it a bit closer, was that interaction between Natalia and Nicole, where Nicole comes and confronts Natalia when Natalia's doing a piece to camera, like a talking head on the sofa, and then kind of Nicole kind of comes in and challenges her on certain points. But there is a perfect two-shot on both of them. So, like, well, not a perfect two-shot, but kind of, you know, perfect over-the-shoulder shot. So the cameras are set up for this confrontation.
Yeah.
And then later on, I think we actually get an extended version of that same scene, which pretty much just shows that the whole thing of that there was an argument that lasts throughout the entire third series, is kind of like Natalia challenging Nicole over a point she made.
Yeah.
But that whole argument seemed to have lasted about 15 seconds.
Where she gives her the death stare.
Yeah, that death stare that miraculously happens. And then if you see, I think you see Nicole come in, they have the discussion, there's the death stare, and then they forgive each other very quickly.
Yeah.
And then you notice that Natalia's wearing the exact same clothes as she's wearing in her other piece to cameras.
It's just very weird how it's been produced.
Another thing I found odd were the telephone calls between, like, the DePauls and the Manses.
Yeah.
You really couldn't figure out who was talking when.
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure out if everything happened in one phone call or if it's a number of phone calls that have been, like, edited together.
I got the impression it was different phone calls.
I think it's designed to give the impression that it's different phone calls, but I think my feeling is logistically they didn't no one was recording their phone calls, because that is I don't know which exact laws, because they vary state by state in the US, but you need consent from both parties in some cases to record phone calls in different states, so it's a legal minefield if you're going to do that. So my feeling is that they just had them all on the phone, like on a big loudspeaker call, and recorded it, with all of them knowing that it was being recorded, because they need the narrative.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure the Manses knew that it was being recorded, because obviously they ended season 2 with that explosive shock horror phone call. She's tweaking. So, like, obviously the Manses knew that there was going to be a season 3. So I guess, but then they wouldn't have known at that point that Natalia was going to run away, which is just...
Running away in a timeline that was incredibly interesting, because I seem to remember the DePauls drive to that church to meet her. And then at some point they're challenged by a security guard, I believe, or someone else.
Yeah.
And then I think they go to drive off, but then it transpires that Natalia's late, and then they see people entering, and then they wait 10 minutes and then pick her up. And I was like, how long have they been waiting? What is happening?
She said that she was there. I think they arrived there a few minutes late, and they just waited, if I remember correctly, and it just so happened that the Manses were late. But, you know, when I was watching that, I was thinking, how long are you going to wait? Or are you just going to wait to see if they leave the service? But yeah, like, I think I remember when season 2 finished, and obviously it had that, like, I hadn't seen it at the time that it had come out, but I remember reading about it on Reddit, as you do. And I think Natalia, she had a TikTok account, and so did the Manses. They had social media accounts. And I think I vaguely remember Natalia just putting a message out saying that she was okay. Like, she wasn't elaborating on the situation, And I don't know if it was on social media or if it was like an interview with a journalist or something, where she said that she wasn't allowed to say anything about what was going on. I guess she had to keep quiet because of the production of this series, but she just wanted to assure people that she was okay. And then there was a GoFundMe fundraiser that Natalia had set up, asking for money towards her own place. But I guess at that point, people didn't know that she had gone to the DePaul's or if she was still with the Manses. So she'd set up a GoFundMe to help towards buying her own house and towards starting up a photography business and towards her surgeries. But in hindsight, we now know it's probably because of all the money issues that the Manses had put her in. But we didn't know that at the end of season 2. And she set up this GoFundMe, but she couldn't say what was happening, probably because she'd signed an agreement with the producers of this show. So yeah, going back to my point, the Manses knew.
Well, I mean, I've got to assume that they're all getting like appearance fees for being in it at this point.
In season 3, they kept on drilling. The DePaul's did. They were going on about the fact that Natalia didn't receive any of the money from, like, for example, being on Dr. Phil, that the Manses, because Cynthia was a payee. So I guess any appearances Natalia made on TV or anything until season 3, I guess the Manses took.
Yeah, and they were getting her living disability allowance as well, weren't they?
And before she escaped, they set up a fundraiser, a GoFundMe. And initially, they said it was for Natalia. I can't remember if it was for her surgery or like a house or something. But then they decided to change their mind and they wanted to use that money. This is hilarious. They wanted to use that money to visit Jerusalem, even though there's like a genocide happening. Like, they are batshit crazy too. You know?
To be fair, though, that does mean that the flights are slightly cheaper.
If there's flights going out, I mean, I guess from America there is.
Another problem that threw up for me then was, and they do put this on screen in season 3, which is that they've got very clear evidence of fraud, allegedly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, for example, going back to this GoFundMe, like, why wasn't that mentioned in the show? Like, this is another example of financial abuse and fraud.
And Antoine Mans.
Yeah.
Bishop, please use his proper name, Bishop.
Bishop.
He's not even a real bishop, so he's self-anointed.
That's what I'm trying to get to, is that he had a deposition with Michael Barnett's lawyer. And in that phone call, he was questioned about whether he is an actual bishop or whether he bestowed that name upon himself.
Yeah.
And he's sort of put in a corner and he doesn't really know how to answer the question.
Doesn't he answer with, like, God made me that way?
Yeah, God anointed him or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that bullshit. I also find it funny in the documentary in the 3rd season, these like looks to camera that they did with Antoine Mans.
Yeah.
It's just so staged.
Yeah. Like the whole, like, when Natalia first confronts Michael and then Antoine just barges in, no cussing. And then it's like, what the fuck? And like then Terence, the Michael's lawyer, who's a grifter himself, he then gets involved and it's like, and the whole car scenes when Michael's driving is so distasteful. Like him coming in his flashy little sports car and then saying, oh, I'm forgiven. That means everything's forgiven. It's like, no, I want to punch you.
Now that you've mentioned that, I did see an Ask Me Anything on Reddit that one of Michael's work colleagues did.
No.
Yeah, and, well, allegedly.
Yeah.
Michael is, like, up his own arse, as is evident in the documentaries anyway. But that he's sort of proud of the fact that he came from nothing and now he's got all these, like, posh cars and...
But how? I don't understand. Why? He doesn't deserve any of it. But like, there was one interesting thing that I remember as well. After, I don't know if it was after season 1 or season 2. So you know how Michael was adamant that they used a specific adoption agency and that they never met the Chicconis and whatnot. So the adoption agency that he claims to have used, I think it was that one, they put out a statement saying everything he said is false and that they will be pursuing legal action against him.
Oh, that's interesting.
So that was 1 or 2 years ago.
Okay.
So why wasn't that in season 3?
Well, this is the thing. He only appeared on screen for like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Was any of his footage new, though? That was my other thing. I wasn't sure if that footage was just leftover footage from season 2.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, there was so much like replaying. And it's funny, you see his appearance, like he goes from being this suited and booted twat in season 1 to this greasy cap-wearing, T-shirt-wearing, not got anything against cap-wearing, T-shirt-wearing people, that's very generic. But you know what I mean? And just like the mannerisms, like when he adjusts his hat and slicks his hair back, and it's just like, oh, it's just so cringe. And he's just, you get such hardcore secondhand embarrassment watching him, whatever he does.
Yeah, and I feel sorry for his son, Jacob, who's also interviewed in the first and second documentaries.
Yeah.
And he says that he's autistic as well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And it must be so difficult to deal with Michael if he's like that all the time.
He's in a rock in a hard place because he's,
yeah,
you know, and it doesn't sound like they've set him up in life to be able to be independent. And just like that shithole bedroom he had, you know, it's like you're not being taken care of while your dad drives. I mean, this is my assumption. I'm probably like, you know, I might be wrong, but, you know, his dad's driving around these flash cars and his son's just living in a shithole basement bedroom from the looks of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one thing that I'm curious about is why were the Chicconis approached? And if they were, like, why weren't they? I read an interesting theory that suggests that the Chicconis basically human trafficked Natalia, and she was then just human trafficked back onto the Barnetts. But going back to what we're talking about,
I would very heavily throw the word allegedly into that if I were you.
Allegedly. It's a theory that I read, okay? Allegedly.
Oh, God. We're going to get sued, aren't we?
Keep saying allegedly.
I know. We don't have any money. Help me, I'm poor. I really am. So going back to what we were saying at the beginning, so in season 3, they touch on the fact that the DePauls, they suggest that the DePauls called Child Protective Services on the Chicconis. And because of that, the Chicconis blocked their adoption chances. So it infuriates me because at the end of the day, you've got a very young, now she's a young woman, but she was just abused throughout every stage until now. And hopefully she is in good hands, but it just seems like everyone was out for themselves when it came to her. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, like the whole Chicconis thing just sounds dodgy as well.
Yeah, she hasn't really had that great a start in life, has she really?
No.
I mean, she's only in her early 20s.
Yeah.
And she's only just started a relationship with someone as well. So
yeah,
she didn't have that normal childhood that she deserved, really.
No. And I hope this guy, like if she's still in a relationship with him, like that Neil guy sounds like an amazing person. The fact that he went through all the like hoops to try and get her in touch with the DePauls and set up like all the way from England. that's like some Mission Impossible shit. But Natalia needed therapy from day one of being adopted. Like from her very first adoption, she should have had psychological therapy because coming from an orphanage, like that's got to fuck any child up anyway, because of the whole detachment issues and the fact that she needed physical healthcare. And the fact that she didn't get any of that, even through the Manses, it's just really sad. And she was abused physically, psychologically, allegedly sexually. So no wonder the DePauls had like such a hard time with her in the beginning.
Well, that we see anyway, it all seems like it was done on one day and then like chopped and edited together.
I mean, I can imagine there would be some teething problems. I'm reticent to think that maybe that they were as severe as they were portrayed in the show, but I have no trouble thinking that because of the background of the whole situation, there would be issues with her going to the DePauls.
I feel like the DePauls were a bit naive. It comes across that way because, like, for example, when she's in the car escaping and then she's texting Cynthia Mans, like, you can still have my money. That's a trauma response. Because that's like, you know, when someone's been, I was going to use the word Stockholm syndrome, but that's not a correct terminology, as we've talked about in the show. But like, you know, she still has that attachment to her abusers, even though they abused her. That was what she thought love was, because they saved her from the Barnetts, and like, she's not going to be able to cut them off straight away. And it's probably like a guilt thing as well. It's like, I'm sorry I've left you. I'm sorry I've upset you. You can still have my money.
Well, then there is actually a throwaway liner, I think I remember Natalia saying about her believing that the money was for them anyway, effectively. I think that's why she kind of says that that's why she said that she was texting Cynthia saying she could continue to be the payee. Was because in her understanding of how the payee system worked, the money was for Cynthia anyway, not for Natalia.
And that's just financial abuse, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because they took her in as a child and, yeah, I can imagine they said, like, this is our money because we're taking care of you now. Of like, who knows what sort of education she's had. She's not had a normal upbringing, so she won't have a realistic view of how the world works. So hopefully she does now.
Also, I've been trying to work out where that Neil guy is from in the UK.
You mean the guy who lives near the London International Airport?
Yeah.
Now, we're all from around London. Nazia, I know you've got a problem with people from Surrey saying they're from London. You said that on a different episode, and so I feel a bit called out. But... But I don't know if any of us know of a London International Airport. I actually, do you know what? I had a thought about that, and I went and looked, but that was an obvious CG thing. But I went and looked into it. There is a London International Airport, which is in London, Ontario, Canada.
Okay, so nowhere near.
I think they Googled the name London Airport.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Canada's a lot closer than London, England.
Yeah.
So... it's probably cheaper.
But going back, talking about like airports, I just remembered as well, going back to the original GoFundMe set up by the Manses, if they were thinking of going to Jerusalem in the midst of a genocide, Natalia wouldn't have had ID because they didn't want to give her ID because they wanted to restrict her freedom. So how was that going to work? Were they just going to go without her and do a Home Alone? Like, I don't know.
Sorry, I just did a Home Alone scream emoji.
It doesn't add up.
Nothing about this fucking series adds up. That's the point.
That's the thing. Like, there's so many people that if all of these things are true, they should be in jail and no one is. I mean, I know the American justice system is messed up, especially in that first trial when the judge decided to treat Natalia as an adult. Therefore, all the evidence pertaining to her being a child couldn't be used. And also the fact that Michael, like in their confrontation, he flat out refused to address the re-aging.
Yeah, that was weird.
Was there some sort of legal thing?
Well, I guess it then becomes a fact of child endangerment because of them putting her in the apartment. And then he becomes liable for that.
Endangerment and abandonment.
Maybe he's waiting for the statute of limitations and then he can talk about it. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. He would have had some legal advice. Bastard.
There's also the possibility that there's something ongoing that they can't talk about legally.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. But she's had her age corrected back, right?
Yeah, they kind of, it's another thing they kind of overlook, and they just kind of do a very quick her in the garden with the certificate celebrating. But that's quite a big part of the story.
Yeah, so then why doesn't that go back to the trial and everything else? You know, the fact that she was endangered as a child and abused as a child.
I think that's probably going to be a new case for Natalia to go ahead with.
If she pursues it.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like really, really infuriating to watch. And I don't know if I'd even heard about the TV show at this point, but I remember someone sending me a Daily Mail article where they were questioning, like, an American family claim that the orphan that they adopted from Ukraine is an adult threatening to kill them. And I remember, like, tabloids writing sensational articles about that. So, you know, if Natalia wanted, she could easily go for defamation against these newspapers, right? And, like, get all her money back. Maybe. If she has the energy to pursue it. She's only, like, in her early 20s.
Well, that's the thing. I think, like, part of her probably just wants to get on with her new life and make it as normal as possible for her.
Yeah.
Obviously, she has to go. I'm guessing that she's going to have to go through the route of therapy as well.
Yeah. Hopefully she does. She sounds like she needs it.
But that's not an easy road in itself.
No. Especially in America when you have to pay for healthcare.
Exactly.
And that's the thing, like the GoFundMe that she had set up after season 2, she explained that the surgeries that she needed, her medical insurance didn't cover. And also, she probably doesn't want to be re-victimized again. The show's already done that, essentially. And I feel like the confrontations between her and Michael, there needed to be someone there to support her. Like, I felt very, very uncomfortable for her.
Yeah, that's the thing. They had the legal expert there, but they didn't have a psychologist on board to explain what would be going on in Natalia's head, or, you know, what she should look out for. Or...
Yeah, like all of the people that they had, I think his name was Brandon Davenport, the FBI agent, Veronica, and the prosecuting attorney, like, they seemed to know more about the reality of the situation. And they had more grounded views, whereas Beth was just in it to kind of...
get paid.
Get a TV gig.
Yeah, get the TV gig, get paid, and wiggle her hair.
Well, one of the other things that I think there's a difference in the industry of reality TV. I think in the US, I think you can become a professional reality TV star. And so there's every opportunity that if they'd set everything up in the right way, Natalia can, and maybe even the rest of the people that are involved, can continue to make money out of this same story by just occasionally dropping a new few episodes or doing a special here and there. And kind of, I would worry that would be kind of the route it goes down. That's what season 3 kind of felt like.
Yeah, it's sort of hinting towards that with the DePauls in tow as well. Like this whole reality TV show with the DePauls and Natalia.
Yeah.
It's just, it seemed really... Some of it seemed really fake, but at the same time, you know it's real.
Yeah. Well, we used to have laws in the UK that said that stuff like that, when it was scripted, had to be shown to be scripted. There had to be an actual warning on screen.
Yeah.
So when things like The Hills started, I remember there were warnings on the screen saying this is not actually a reality TV show. This is manufactured. And then we had the genre of manufactured reality that's a splinter of reality TV in the UK. And we kind of associate that more with the US because there are all sorts of rules and regulations on reality TV in the UK that you've kind of got to get around. It's kind of this. It's the same in like reality game shows where in America you notice they always finish on 1 second. They're always just within the or just like it's always that 1 second drama. Whereas in the UK, if anything involves any sort of cash, it has to be very tightly regulated.
I hope they don't do any more TV series, and especially with the DePauls. I just feel like if she's got her family now, or maybe she's pursuing an independent life, just let her be. It would be a real shame to feel like the DePauls now start exploiting the situation for financial gain as well.
Yeah.
I don't want to see them as that sort of people.
But I see it going in the direction of them taking part to better Natalia's life. That's what I was trying to get to.
That's how it's set up as.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I found it really uncomfortable when, is it Nicole DePaul? Is that her name?
Yeah, yeah.
When she's like talking about Natalia's private life, like her intimacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like agree to talk about that with Natalia? Is she okay with you talking about this? You've had her in your house for 5 seconds. Give her some privacy, you know.
Yeah, and she was always in her room as well.
Yeah.
It seemed, allegedly.
Yeah.
For at least 3 of the hours they were there that day, she was in that room.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah. At the end of the day, if Natalia's in a safe place, that's the main thing. And that's probably all she wants as well. But I just hope to God that the Barnetts and the Manses, karma needs to get them. And like, what about all the other children that the Manses have?
You also get that one scene with the mother whose child is with the Manses.
Yes!
Which we've not spoken about, but is a very kind of disturbing scene.
And the fact that they had the recordings of those phone calls, the initial phone calls, that she then like went back on her word of, that was just like a little snippet.
Yeah, a mother saying, I don't want to talk about them, or I can't badmouth them while crying.
Yeah. And then the producer's like, we'll just let you, the audience, just take what you will of that. You know? Yeah, that was a bit disturbing.
It makes you wonder what they've edited out as well.
I mean, I'll be honest, if with everything that they put in there, I can't imagine there was anything left that they edited out. I think they used all of the footage they had because they repeat footage constantly.
True.
And it's really a bugbear of mine. Like, if you don't use the same shot twice if you can help it. And to use it like 4 or 5 different times is just lazy.
But that does seem to be a feature of American reality TV documentaries.
With like the dramatic music and the jumping all over the timeline.
Well, I mean, I understand like editing for ad breaks, where sometimes what happens is, and it's a factor that you'll have noticed from your childhood, but you won't piece together that you know this. Whereas because American ad breaks are so frequent, and we're used to just ad breaks on every quarter hour, what would happen was there'd be a scene and then it would cut to black and then it would come back immediately, but it would be a few seconds previous. And then you would just see if the last few seconds of the scene again. And it's from where the American ad break was, and then they're coming back to remind us.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I noticed that when I went to America. They have so many adverts and the ad breaks are so long. So, yeah, I guess they've got short-term memory.
So, Kris, is there anything you would change about this documentary?
I think it's, at best, it's 1 episode that they've pulled out to 4, was it, in the end, I think? From a production standpoint, I mean, if you want me to believe that any of those interviews were conducted on separate days, make people change clothes. They were in their own house. It's not that hard. Like, or at least change the angle of the shot. Every episode, Nicole DePaul is in the exact same sitting scenario, and yet the timeline has moved on by months. And I'm not entirely certain what's happened. So it's just kind of the whole thing. I would have approached it very differently. Maybe I think what they wanted to do was make a version of the Jinx, and didn't quite have the kind of backing of the network, and they didn't quite have the power behind it. And I think they kind of made a Jinx from Wish, effectively.
The other thing, sorry, I've just thought of this as well, is so season 2 ends with that phone call. She's tweaking. She's stabbing us in the back. And then they start filming season 3, but the Manses are like, no, it's okay now. So when they had that phone call saying, no, everything's fine, and they interviewed them where Antoine's like, she's had this boyfriend, we're going to cut the internet, blah, blah, blah. But the fact that they carried on filming, it's like, I want to know what the producers thought, what direction it was all going to go in, because obviously at that point, they wouldn't have known that Natalia was planning to run away.
Well, that was one of the only times I thought that the production kind of made sense, in the fact that when they're filming that interview, and like you said, it's a suspicious kind of speech that's given about it, but there is a camera that is very tight on Natalia's face the entire time, and it's basically a reaction shot, and that was a pretty good storytelling device.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because she looks so awkward throughout that whole thing.
You just feel so, you can tell it's a horrible situation and it's quite sinister. So yeah, maybe they thought, okay, we're going to carry on, like we're going to make something out of this. Maybe at that point they thought, we don't know what's going to happen, but something's going to happen.
But we also don't know when that interview was conducted. That's the other problem. I mean, I know logically it makes sense that they flew straight back to was it Tennessee where they were, and then went and interviewed them. But we don't know that for a fact. Like, I mean, based on the way that they've treated timelines in the show, it could have been at any point that they just kind of went, actually, what we really do need is we need this. And so can we just sit you all down and do it?
Yeah, they might have said, oh, it's looking like you're this type of person, so can you just make that aware on camera?
Can you say that again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are our thoughts. Unless you had anything else to bring to the table.
I fully believe the whole thing is fake now. After watching the third season, I can't believe it's real. I switched from going, this is a wild story, to this is a bit too wild, and okay, maybe it's exaggerated to in the third series, but no, this is completely fake. I don't believe a thing of it that's happened. That's a really bad thing, because Nazi has been saying about how tragic the story is. And so the fact that this show, the third season of this show, makes me think that the whole thing is fake, completely just kind of takes away from what is probably in reality quite a horrific thing that happened.
Well, I just feel like Natalia is again being exploited by the producers. But because she doesn't know any better, and she's not had therapy, so she hasn't had a safe space to process her trauma and to process everything she's gone through. So the only way she can talk about it is through, like, isn't that really sad? That's the only way she's been able to have her voice, is through this ridiculous TV show. And even then, she doesn't feel comfortable talking about everything, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's the best take on the whole thing, really.
Yeah. I mean, like, obviously Dr. Phil, we know he's a bellend. So when she went on that, like, not a good idea, but what's she going to do? And then we really don't know what she went through with the Manses, and she was with them for a decade. She was with them for longer than she was with the Barnetts. So whatever abuse she allegedly experienced would have been almost double that, that time. And she would have been older. She would have had more understanding.
Yeah, and she was basically in a cult with the Manses.
Yeah, and there's some theories that allegedly Antoine was sexually abusing her. Allegedly. But we don't know that. She obviously didn't feel comfortable enough or safe enough to talk about what the reality was with the Manses. And yeah, it's just really sad that the only voice she had was through TV appearances, where other people are gaining from it more than her. And she hasn't had a safe space through therapy to actually process her trauma. And that's why I don't even agree with her coming face to face with Michael Barnett, because she's not equipped to confront him. Like, I feel like when she says that she forgives him, I think that was the Manses' influence on her, like the whole Christianity thing. And I feel like if she was better equipped, she would have confronted him more and challenged him more. And I don't feel like she had the tools within herself to challenge Michael the way he needs to be challenged.
Yeah, that seemed like peak sensationalist TV for the sake of sensationalist TV. I mean, you're right, that shouldn't happen in an environment that's not safe, but it also definitely shouldn't happen on camera.
Yeah. especially with someone like Michael Barnett, who just wants to put on a drama show. And, oh, he's just so cringe. He just makes me sick.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
But I just feel sorry for Natalia, and I really hope she gets the therapy that she needs and the surgeries that she needs. And if we do get another TV show,
Let's hope it's legit.
let's hope it's legit and
A success story rather than a freak show.
a success story, like a little nice little reality TV show of a family of little people just doing their thing, and Natalia pursuing her photography business and maybe like thriving in adulthood and whatnot. And maybe, you know, she might even move to the UK and settle down with Neil. Who knows? Like, that would be a great outcome if her and Neil become an actual thing.
I want to say, like, he lives in Reading, because that's what his accent sounded like. And the way the bushes were in the picture that he was in. And he looked like a dog person because he had a dog lead.
Wow, you really paid attention.
Have you been playing GeoGuessr without me realising?
Yeah, I'm really good at it.
I was going to say, I'm surprised someone on the internet hasn't doxed him yet. I mean, not that I'm encouraging anyone to, but you know what people on the internet are like, they're assholes.
Be careful what you say, Nausea. Allegedly.
Yeah. But not that I want him to be doxed, because obviously he's keeping his identity private for a reason. But I'm surprised some idiot hasn't already doxed him.
Well, I mean, I've seen people making, you know, on like you said on Reddit. I went and had a look after the documentary because I just wanted to see what other people thought of some of the weirder bits of it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people have been making quite gross speculations about him.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Because he wants to keep his identity private as well. I think that was the main reason.
So you can't be a real person if you keep your identity private. Like, there has to be something dodgy with you.
Yeah, you can't be innocent. And
yeah,
like, he was crucial to her escape, because without him, the DePaul's would never have.
Well, so the documentary says anyway.
Yeah. It was probably his decision not to be involved, more than just a blurred picture. But it would have been interesting to have his perspective, like if he wanted his identity revealed, if he could have, they could have even done like a deep fake of his face.
Yeah, they could have done an AI version.
Yeah, like they did in the Kim Wall murderer, you know, the documentary on Netflix. They deep faked one of the girls' face. So they could have done that with him and altered his voice. But it would have been interesting to have heard his like side of the story and like how he orchestrated that whole thing.
Yeah.
But I guess, you know, kudos to him. He wants to live his private life. But then he can't really live a private life if you are striking a relationship with a potentially famous little person. You know,
yeah, exactly.
It's a bit, yeah.
I'm going to add this to my the whole show is fake thing, and I don't believe there is a Neil. I don't believe anyone in the UK has ever been called Neil or will be called Neil. I think that the whole thing is just the fever dream of the producers.
So when Natalia went to the UK, was she just like gallivanting around London?
Well, she was apparently in Ontario, judging by the airport that she went to, so I think she was just in Canada.
But the bushes in Neil's photograph look really real.
They really looked like Reading bushes, Kris.
Yeah, but if you Google Reading bushes, mysteriously a photo that looks very similar to that comes up.
Yeah, I'm not going to Google that at all. And on that note.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we all got that off our chests.
Yeah, it's been going around my head for fucking ages.
Like, I have to admit, there were times, and I don't know if that's motherhood in me, but there were times when I watched the documentary and I was like crying in bed. And just like, this is just awful. Like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Blah, blah, blah. And then by the end of season 3, I was like, what the fuck is wrong with these producers? But yeah, like it really angered me most of the time. It really infuriated me, as you know, from our WhatsApp exchanges. So I'm glad to have finally verbalized all of that. And hopefully I never have to talk about it ever again. And hopefully I never have to see Michael Barnett's face, unless it's a mugshot. Hopefully we never have to see Michael Barnett's face ever again.
Pray the Lord.
Let's manifest.
I hear he's been confirmed for Bake Off next year.
Okay, right.
Wait, celebrity or...
Both, why not?
Maybe they should have one for like detainees.
Channel 5 had that. Channel 5 had a show called Jailbreak where the whole point was it was a game show of people trying to break out of a fake prison.
Oh shit, I've got to watch that.
It was really good.
Well, let's hope they don't do it with real detainees in America. I can imagine that happening at some point in the future.
Probably already has happened.
I mean, Trump's probably going to pardon him anyway.
Yeah.
If he were in jail. Let's hope, let's manifest Kristen Barnett and Michael Barnett mugshots.
And the Manses.
At some point in and the Manses. Yeah. I rebuke. What is it?
Rebuke.
Rebuke you. Satan, devil. What the fuck?
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, thanks, Kris, for coming on this unscripted episode with us.
And giving your expert opinions.
Thank you for having me from the other room. I am very much looking forward to the liberal use of the word allegedly that's going to be thrown around in our house from now on because I've said that to him.
Allegedly.
Well, if you guys have listened to this whole episode, thank you for putting up with our ranting and banting.
Yeah, and thank you for purchasing the episode. We have more stuff like this in the diary.
I guess we're going to have guest appearances from Kris in the future again.
Oh no, we've totally put him off this.
Oh, okay.
I mean, to be fair, it's very easy to get hold of me, so...
Yeah. We don't have to fly to Tennessee. Oh no, we might.
I didn't need to go through a lawyer or anything.
Emma just came up to me and went, "Oh, are you free to record later?" And I was like, "What are we recording?"
You don't have to sign any NDAs or anything.
Kris literally asked me, what documentary are we talking about? And I was tempted to leave it until now to tell him what documentary we were talking about.
Just bring it on him.
Yeah, and I think I might do that for future recordings if you ever guest star on our podcast.
No, that's why not?
Yeah. Everyone likes a surprise. But anyway, yeah, you can catch us on our usual spot on Spotify, and they're free to listen to.
Yeah.
So if you are a cheapskate, head there.
Yeah, if not, you're not a cheapskate. We appreciate you. And we appreciate anyone anyway, but we extra appreciate you. Yeah.
Yeah. So everyone say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the show. We hope you enjoyed this episode. You can find more information about the show on our website at feloniouspod.com or on our Instagram at felonious.pod.
Links to our show notes can be found in the episode description, as well as through our website and social media. You can visit our Contact Us page and tell us what you think about the show, and if there are any cases you would like us to cover. We hope you join us for the next episode. Goodbye.
Bye.